Hey guys, what's going on? Troy on Mountain Man Treasure here, and they tried to get me.
Mountain Man.
Treasures.
Welcome into the channel, guys. My name is Troy. I'm a part-time reseller based out of Montana. That means I have a day job. I work at a radio station during the early morning hours until about lunchtime, and then after that, I go to garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, places like that, try to find things that I think are priced low and then sell them again or resell them online for a profit. I do that for the most part on eBay. And a lot of people talk about eBay and go, you know what, I used to do eBay, but there's so many scammers now. Scammer. You know what, there are. They're on the computer, they're on the phone, they're in the mail. You know, you've gotten the call about extending your car's warranty, right? It happens. And it does happen on eBay. I don't think it happens as often as what people seem to think it does, but it certainly happens, and they tried to get me last week. So I'll explain to you what happened here. I've got some screenshots of messages, and usually I wouldn't blast names out. You know, I wouldn't put user IDs on there or anything. That's just not generally what I do. But this was pretty scammy. There are now 2 user IDs that I'm going to block, and if you want to block them, well, feel free. I would recommend it because it just seems fishy. So what I'm going to do, and we've got actually some viewer questions that were sent in here in the last couple of days, and I'm going to answer those. But first, we're going to go into this attempted scam because I can see how it might get some people, especially if they're new to reselling. Now, very often the initial scam that you get hit with when you first start off is somebody will send you an offer on an item that you've listed, sometimes for more than the thing is actually listed at. You got it listed at $20, they'll send an offer of $39.99 or something. That's usually a scam. Often they'll then send you a message and say, hey, I'd like to complete this transaction. Please give me a call at such and such a number. Sometimes they try to get you to verify you're a real person by sending them a code. And any of that is garbage. Ignore all of that. Generally, that's not going to happen after you've established yourself a little bit on eBay. They go after the newer accounts just because people aren't savvy. People don't understand what's going on. Never communicate with somebody off of the eBay system about an eBay item. That's a very good way to get your account suspended. Now, I've been selling for quite some time on there. We've got thousands of feedback. I wouldn't think that I'd be getting hit by scammers, but you know what? I did. And I'm going to walk you through what happened here. Now, you actually saw the item that we're talking about. Here it is right here. This is a Digimon 6-movie pack. I picked this up at a pawn shop. We did a video on that here recently. I was out of town. I stopped at sort of some non-traditional places to source items and managed to make money at all of them. And this was one of the things we picked up at the pawn shop. And it actually sold relatively quickly. Within a couple of days, this thing sold. And I picked it up knowing that it's got a good sell-through. Now, the person that bought this had a brand new account created that day. Now, I know sometimes that scares people off, but it's not all that unusual. Your item often is found like in a Google search or something, or it comes up in an ad, and somebody that doesn't have an eBay account sees it. They create a guest account or create a new account and come in just to buy that item. So just because somebody has a new account, they don't have any feedback or have very, very little feedback, but often it's no feedback, and hey, this account is brand new. That's not necessarily a sign of somebody trying to scam you. They may have just found your item elsewhere and then come to eBay specifically to get it. Now, that's what I thought happened here because this was a brand new account literally created November 29th, the day that this thing sold. And I packed it up, shipped it off, and it was delivered. No problem, right? Yeah. Friday of last week is when this started happening. I got a message from an account that looks like somebody fell asleep on their keyboard. It's just a jumble of letters. This is from Lupin G Gen Goemon Fujiko. Best I got. It says, I didn't get my order. No matter how it may not show up as there wasn't an order. Already a little fishy, right? Like, you might not see that I ordered from you, but I did. That's what they're saying in the second sentence of this message. Red flags immediately. right? Let's go back. I didn't get my order. No matter how it may not show up as there wasn't an order, I have an order number. I either want my product or a refund. I decided to contact you before I contacted eBay. And then they have the information. It's the Digimon Adventure Complete 6-film collection. That's my title. The total, that's correct. I blocked out the order number there. I don't know if I need to, but you don't need the order number. So they've got the title and they've got the total. I don't think that's hard information to track down, right? Like you can see that. And if you note in the last part of that message there, initially they say, hey, you might not see that I have an order, but I do. And then they say, I want my item or I want my money back. And I'm not contacting eBay. I'm giving you a chance here. They're sort of putting the pressure on. There's that veiled threat of, I'm going to tell eBay if you don't make this right. That's what they're doing there. So I wrote them back and at least plausibly gave them the benefit of the doubt. I had already seen the flags. I saw this is actually a different account than the person that I sold it to. At least the name is different, right? And so this is a second account sending me a message saying I didn't get my item that was sold to the first account. Does that track? So I wrote them back pretending like it was an innocent mistake, right? You may have it confused with another purchase or seller because our copy that was sold was delivered to the buyer and it was not this account, right? Like I was like, hey, you might be mistaken. Maybe you ordered it from somebody else, right? No, but I'm just trying to be professional. I'm trying to throw that out there. I kind of just wanted to see what was going to happen, right? So then they send me a message back. A note on here that the Fall Asleep on the Keyboard account has 77 feedback on there. It's not always the brand new accounts that are going to give you the hassle, right? So don't use that as there's a new account that wants to buy my item. What should I do? Like I said, not necessarily a bad thing. So they say, then what is this email about? And then it's not actually an email. Again, it's the title, the total, and order number. They put the item ID, again, something that's very easy to look up. And then it says seller, and it has my seller account on there, Mountain Man Treasure. And so I wrote them back and I said, doesn't look like any kind of official email, obviously. And again, this was not the account that purchased, and the item was in fact delivered to the buyer. And then I just flat out said, we will be reporting this account to eBay for an attempted scam. I played long enough. I actually was busy that night. Otherwise, I might have sort of let the line out a little bit farther and just to see what would happen. But I was done, right? I'm done playing. I'm going to let eBay know that you're trying to pull one over on me. So what did they do? They wrote back and said, I will be reporting you for an attempted scam myself. Thank you. Okay, so I wrote them back and basically said, I'm not exactly sure what the potential scam might be here. Somebody ordered a thing. We sent the thing to that person who wasn't you, and they got it. Where's the scam, right? And so then they answered. They said, I don't know either. The email I got was a delivered email. Also, I just never got the product. And then again, this seems like an English, not a first language sort of situation. Very weird wording and very, red flaggy. I just wish, and I won't ask whose account you sent it to. I know who it was you sent it to. What? I just wish, and I won't ask whose account you sent it to. I knew who it was you sent it to. I used PayPal to pay you. I just checked my account. I don't know what that means, but at this point, they're fishing, right? They're fishing for more information. I'm not going to write back and say, oh, well, I sent it to this person at this address. This was the PayPal email. I'm not going to give them somebody else's information at this point, right? Like, no, that's not happening. So I just cut off communication. I just stopped. I got on Facebook Messenger. If you ever have problems with eBay, I know some people try to call them and they have all sorts of issues with the customer service there. Get on Facebook, go to eBay for Business, and use Instant Messenger and message them. 9 times out of 10, I've gotten a good resolution from them, and even the times when you don't, it's a real person on the other end, and they actually have some power to make decisions. They're not just reading a script. they're US based, so you're not trying to get past. Sometimes there's just an understanding barrier when things are outsourced, and sometimes you run in circles trying to make something understood. I'm actually having that issue now with my Peloton. They outsource their call center, and I'm still trying to get that thing delivered. There's been some frustrations there. That happens with eBay sometimes. So if you go to eBay for Business on Facebook, send them a message. What they're going to want to know is the email account that you use for eBay. They're going to want to know your first and last name. They're going to want to know, I always tell them the store name if you don't have a store. I don't know if I need that. And then they want to know your zip code. It's just all identifying information. So I give that to them right away. I say, hi, my name is Troy. We run Mountain Man Treasure. Here's the email. Here's our zip code. Now here's the problem. Because if you write them and give them the problem, they'll write back and say, okay, I just need to verify your account. That's just going to slow the thing down. So now I know they ask that every time. Just give it to them up front and then give them the problem. And usually within about a day. Now this did take longer, and I'm sure they're busier with the holidays. It took 3 days or 4 days or something for me to hear back from them, which is not typical. Usually it's within 24 hours. Even there, it's a little bit of a luck of the draw situation. There's some people that are more helpful than others, but I've had very good luck with them. So send them a message explaining this whole thing and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know about this account because this seems pretty fishy. So here you go. I did finally get a message back. Thank you for bringing those messages and that account to our attention. It's certainly concerning and something that we are having our trust teams check out. You did the right thing by reporting. We're happy to hear that it's been delivered to the rightful buyer and there's nothing more that you need to do. You're welcome to block the buyer and let us know if anything else comes up. We're here for you. Lindsay. Thanks, Lindsay. That's awesome. Now, interestingly, when I was going in to get these old messages, I didn't even realize that I had a dispute filed on this case shortly after that, because I just went on with my life, and I somehow missed that message over the weekend that came in. Now, what they did, well, look right here, they filed a dispute, not with eBay. Remember, they said, I'm going to report you myself. They didn't file a report with eBay. They tried to go around and file a claim with, I guess, PayPal or their bank, whoever. They claimed they used PayPal, right? They tried to use that institution and say, hey, I ordered something that I didn't get. But if you notice right there, that was not the fell asleep at the keyboard user ID. That was the user ID that actually purchased the item. I thought this other account was trying to get information about me and or another account, and now this other account is brought in. Maybe this person has two accounts. I don't know. That's where it got really confusing. I thought I had the thing figured out, but the initial account filed a claim 45 minutes after I got done talking with the other account saying I didn't get my item, and they filed it with their bank or their financial institution. So I went in actually this afternoon. I had until tomorrow to respond. So I'm glad I'm doing this for you guys because I found it in my messages back there that this had been filed. So there was a button that says, hey, respond to the claim. And basically eBay said, hey, the financial institution needs to see tracking information so that they can confirm that you're saying that it got there. Which is weird because eBay literally has it right there on the screen. Why they can't just get that automatically, I don't understand. But I said, upload tracking information. And then within several minutes, it basically was, congratulations, we've decided in your favor. You don't have to do anything. This was delivered, case is closed. Which generally is the case when somebody says, hey, I didn't get something, but the tracking shows delivered. You're done, right? Like they're not, now eBay might give that person the money back. eBay might foot the bill for that, but they're not going to take it from you. If you can show that it was delivered to the account that it was supposed to be delivered to, then you're good, you're clear. I don't know. If you guys understand what they're trying to do here, you let me know. I thought it was one account trying to get information on somebody else, or at the very least try to just intimidate me into just giving them money, or and not realizing that it was a separate account. So if somebody sends you a message, always double check that it was actually that account that ordered. But then that original account came back into the equation, and started the whole dispute. I don't know, one person running two different accounts trying to pull something. I don't know. It's weird, but it's scammy, and they weren't going to get money or information from me. So be careful out there. Don't be scared. You can't operate your business scared. That's no way to go through life. It's no way to run your business. But you do have to be careful because there are bad actors out there that are trying to get your money and or information. So I thought I'd bring that to your attention, let you know what's going on. But we do have some questions. I don't want the video to get super duper long. So let's get to some questions from some viewers. Michelle had, she had a couple of questions on here. Michelle, I'm going to try and get these. She said, I have 4 questions I have never heard mentioned on any of the channels I watch. So number 1, how does eBay pay the seller? Weekly, quarterly, etc. Now, it used to be through PayPal. They've cut PayPal out of the equation now. So everybody's on managed payments. That means basically eBay's handling your money now. People pay eBay through whatever method, through credit card or PayPal, Apple Pay, whatever it is. It goes to eBay, and then eBay puts it in your account. Now, I have it set up. I think you can set it up to go weekly. I think you can do it that way. I have mine set up to go every day. So it takes a little bit when managed payments first starts because there's a delay, right? And then there's a delay over the weekend because it's banker's hours, right? So they could send something on Friday, eBay could, but it gets to your bank after the time that it's going to deposit. So that's not going to show up until Monday. Then you've got the stuff that came in over the weekend. That's going to be reported on Monday to your bank. It'll go in Tuesday. So you see you get behind, but once you start selling more, it just rotates through. So you're getting paid today for what you sold yesterday, but that's not really a big deal. So the answer is it varies, but I have mine set up so that I get paid every day. Now, it says, does eBay automatically add sales tax to all applicable states? And the answer is yes. You don't charge sales tax. You actually have to be authorized to take sales tax from somebody. We're not authorized, right? So eBay takes care of all of that. I don't touch sales tax. Do you have to count your remaining inventory and figure estimated dollar amount at the end of the fiscal year and pay taxes on that as well? Now, this I will, at the front end, disclaimer, I'm not a tax guy, right? So talk to a CPA, talk to an accountant, talk to, whoever. But I can tell you how I do it. I can tell you, as far as I understand, there are 2 methods to figure out the numbers in terms of taxes. Now, you can basically, like what you said, count your unsold inventory at the end. There's a way, basically, you only count a deduction. You buy a widget for $5. You don't count that deduction of the widget of $5 until it sells. Okay? So if you do it that way, you've got to keep good records of every single thing incoming and outgoing. I don't like that. I like, as I've said on this, to make things simple. I like to streamline as much as possible. And now you can do what's called the cash method. And that's what I like to do is as soon as I spend something, as soon as I buy a bag of Who's-Its from Goodwill, that bag of Who's-Its is a deduction. That's a business expense. Doesn't matter when or, frankly, if they sell. I bought them for the business. They're a business expense. Now, you're not going to get your true income and expenses, and if you want to follow all the minutia of that, that's not going to give you the best picture. But that's the way I do it. As soon as I spend it, that's when it's an expense, and that's called the cash method. Again, look into it to decide what you want to do. You can't switch back and forth, really. The IRS wants you to stick with one method. So stick with one that you're going to like, that you're going to be able to do. I use the cash method. And then Michelle's last question is, do you have to have a store after a certain time frame? No, you don't. She followed that. She said, if so, are the additional charges reasonable? You don't need to get a store until you have a lot of items, frankly. Especially now that eBay has given us, I don't even know what the number is. They expanded the number of free listings you get every month. So now that they expanded that, it doesn't make sense for people to get a store until they have lots of items, so that you're not having to pay if it doesn't sell over 30 days, it relists, and you're charged for that again. You're going to have a lot of stuff listed in order to have that happen now. The nice thing is you do get several benefits for having a store. I like having a store. It's just easy. You also, again, I get my quarterly coupon to buy some shipping supplies, so you get a little money back that way. So it's really up to you when to have a store. You certainly don't have to have one. So, Michelle, I think we answered some of those questions there. Let's go on to some more of your questions. Andrea had a question. Quick question about the mystery of international shipping. Does eBay have a cheat sheet of popular HTS codes, or do you have to qualify each item yourself? Now, we are going to get into international sales on Friday's video. I'm going to see if we can do a little bit of an explainer, boil down the different international options. But in terms of HTS codes, Andrea, I don't fiddle with those. You know, if you sell through eBay International Standard, it fills out almost all of the customs paperwork for you. You literally have to check a box. You have to check a box that says this is what's in here and I'm not shipping something that I'm not allowed to ship. That's it. So eBay takes care of all of that work for you. We'll dig into more of that in the next video. But one more question on here. This is from Danita. With regards to keeping receipts, records for tax purposes, what do you do when purchasing at garage sales, estate sales, etc., and you don't get a receipt? New to reselling, so curious. So what I understand and what I do, and again, talk to a tax professional, talk to an accountant, CPA, whoever, but I actually have had a reseller that does taxes. He is an accountant, and he's actually been interviewed on my channel before, and we talked to him about this. And so passing along information from him, as long as you keep records yourself, you're probably good. So what I do when I go to garage sales, I actually have a written out sheet of addresses that I go to, and that way I can know where I'm going next. I don't have to wonder, okay, now where, and find it. I have a map planned out. I don't always stick to that, but I have a general idea. But that also helps because when I get back to the car, I can say I spent $12 at that sale right next to that address. Then I go to the next place, I spent $5. If I didn't spend anything, I just cross it out, right? So that helps me keep track of how much I spend at each sale. And then I just put that in my file and I save that for that day or that weekend's expenditures. That's how much I spent at garage sales this weekend. As long as you keep a general tracking of your stuff, you know, Mark was saying, as long as they can see that you're making a genuine effort to accurately track mileage and expenses and that sort of thing, then you're probably going to be okay. So I know some people will actually have them fill out a receipt. You can get like a receipt book and have people sign it, you know. Frank, I think that's a little weird. You know, that's not something that I feel comfortable. Like, hey, I bought a video game from your place for $1. Can you sign my receipt book saying that I bought a video game for $1? You can if you want to make sure that you're 100%, like you go to the edge of what you need to do. I've never had issues with just tracking by hand the amount that I sold. And then you can write next to it, you know, a general idea of what you bought there. But just keep your records of what you bought, and you're probably going to be okay. So that covers the scam. That covers some questions. If you got more questions, leave them down below. We're just going to work on answering those questions here over the winter months when we don't have garage sales to go to. I need to pull out my my GoPro card. I do have some garage sales from this summer on that we can get to and play you some of those before we run out. But I think these are good and valuable videos to do as well. So I appreciate you hanging out with us. International video coming on Friday. And we're also going to announce winners of our giveaways on Friday. So you've still got actually a little bit of time to get in on the last video and comment. You'll have to watch the video to know exactly how and what you're supposed to comment. But go to that one and maybe you can win something for free because we're giving that away. And if you have any questions about international selling or sales or the procedure, whatever, leave them down below or in that other one. And I'll see if we can get to those in the next one. So I'm rambling. It's time for me to actually take some stuff to the post office. So I'm going to cut this thing off. We'll see you next time. Scammer, 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 scammer.